Welcome, dear learners, to this first conference about the activity number 1 in our course, English Graduates Level 9. This is the agenda for today. First, the platform introduction. Second, the activity 1 topics and evidences. And third, questions and conclusion. This is the main view of your course. This is the main menu where you are going to find all the buttons about the course. And in this conference we are going to talk about the button activity 1 and all the elements that are there. I recommend you to explore all the buttons in the course about the program information, the schedule with the dates about the activities, and the instructor information, my profile, the previous activities, the internal messaging space in which you can write me through this platform, the discussion forum, in which you are going to find the social forum, the question forum, and the thematic 1, the online sessions button, where you can find the link to enter to this space to have our conferences, and also a folder with the recording of this conference. The library system is the direct link to the library system of the SENA, the glossary with all the terms that are used in this course, the tutorials with links about videos, and manuals about the way in which the platform works. And finally, in this space, the software requirements, in which you can find the programs that are required to can run this course in a good way. And in the final place is the space My Grades, in which you can check all my comments about your activities and if the activities were approved or not. These are the previous activities you have to do. First, you have to send me your ID document in a PDF format. You have to update your personal information following the instructions here in this file. Then you have to answer to the prior knowledge survey and participate in the social forum. To participate in the forums, you have to click on the sequence that I've made, click on Responder, and you have to write your message, and finally click on Enviar. To the activity number 1, you are going to find first the guide, the first document that you can download, clicking here. It's the file with the learning guide. There you are going to find all the activities that you have to do, and the second element is the material, the study material, with all the topics about this activity in the multimedia version, and also a file that you can download too. Also, there is a support material for each activity in a document that you can download to your computer, and there is a file with the glossary of this activity 1 and also a multimedia version of this same glossary. Below the materials of this activity, you are going to find the first evidence that you have to do. The first one is called blog, what you wouldn't recommend, in which you have to click in its name to go to the space to write your participation. But first you have to download the document with all the instructions of it. The second activity is the evidence, something I will always treasure. You have to download the file with the instructions to work on it or make a file as the instructions say, and send the activity by clicking in the name of the evidence. The next activity is the interactive activity movies premiere, which is developed in a new window, and the qualification is going to be directly in the platform. And the final evidence is the evidence, the new 7 wonders of the world, in which you have to download the document to your computer, read the instructions, and once you have all your evidences done, you need to send it to me by clicking on the name of the evidence and clicking on Examinar mi equipo, and finally click on enviar. When you click on Examinar mi equipo, you are going to find your file done with the activity totally done in your computer, and you are going to send it to me. Please be very careful when you are going to send it to me, because sometimes you are sending the format without any change or without your activity done. This is the study material you are going to find for this activity. You have to explore all the top menu in order to know the topics, and also do some exercises that are in the last part of this material. The topics that we are going to check in this activity are the passive voice in simple present and past forms, and expressing opinions about books and movies. So let's check the first topic, the passive voice. Take a look at the following sentence in the active voice. Mary sells cakes. So first there is the subject, there is the verb, the main verb for a third person singular in simple present. Remember that for third person, the verb ends in a S in some times, like in this. And finally, the direct object. But now, let's compare the sentence transformed into passive voice. Cakes are sold. Let's see that now the direct object is now in the first place. Second, there is the verb plural form, the simple present, and sold, the past participle of the verb sell. Notice that the passive voice is formed in simple present and simple past, plus the past participle with regular and irregular verbs. Also, notice that the verbs are conjugated according to their subjects. Let's see the structure of the passive voice. First, the subject. Second, the form of the verb to be, wherever it is in plural or singular in present, or singular and plural in past. The past participle of the verbs. All the verbs are in the past participle, and the optional prepositional phrase. Buy Mary, at the movies, yesterday are optional prepositional phrase because the sentence could end here. But if you prefer, you can add this prepositional phrase at the end. So let's make this exercise about the passive voice. We have this example in active voice. Juana writes romantic novels. So let's do the passive in present and in past. So the right way, we have to take first the object, in this case is romantic novels, then the verb to be, in this case is are, because romantic novels is plural, the participle of the verb in past, and if you want, the optional and by Juana. Romantic novels are written by Juana. As you can see, the object is now in the first place of the sentence, then the to be verb, and finally the past participle form. And in the past form, we have the object again, romantic novels, but now it's in past, so we are going to use the form of the verb to be in past, in this case for plural, which is were. The form of the past participle, and let's see the other example. My sisters buy a new car. In passive voice, the object is a new car. Is the verb to be. Now the verb buy, but in past participle, which is bought by my sisters. And I want you to do this one, and please send it to me to my email. Let's continue with the presentation. Now with the topic about expressing opinions about books and movies. Let's see some phrases, some useful phrases that you can say when you're talking about books and movies. The first one, I thought the film was, the actors' costumes, screenplay are, you'll have to go and see it for yourself. And also, you might want to have some adjectives to describe things. Here you have some: true to life, masterpiece, believable, the real story of, Oscar-winning, fantastic, remarkable, unlike, and terrible. Now, let's check the evidences for the activity 1. The first one is the blog, what you wouldn't recommend. You have to click on the blog title and then on Crear entrada de blog, write about a movie or book you didn't like. Please be careful about talking about a book or a movie you didn't like, because most of you have been writing about a movie or a book you like. So, let's check that point before sending your participation. Please use passive voice in your review in at least 5 examples, as the sentences we did here. You have to use the passive voice in at least 5 examples. Use the vocabulary and ideas of your reviews, at least 6 words from the vocabulary, and remember to use connectors and punctuation. For the second part of this activity, you have to read your partner's post, select 2 of them, and through the link commentary, write your opinion about your partner's post. The second activity is something I will always treasure, in which you have to write a 400-word composition about something someone gave you that means a lot to you. You should use the passive and active voice along the text. Remember that I'm going to check that you are using the main topic of this activity in all the evidences you are sending to me. The third activity is the interactive activity Movies Premiere, in which you are going to answer to 7 different questions using the correct passive voice. So, in this example, the film you are going to watch today, A, is being directed by LPQ Company, has been directed by LPQ Company, and is directed by LPQ Company. The correct is the B, because as you can see, the verb is in past participle, and in the other 2, there is an incoherence here. There are 2 different points in the time in this sentence, and here there is not the past participle. So the correct is the B, the option B. And the last activity is the new 7 wonders of the world, in which you should look for information about one of the 7 new wonders and also about the massive campaign that was held globally to select them. Once you have chosen one of them, you are going to record a 2 minutes long tape with your voice, in which you relate the construction, history, development, and current status of your selected wonder, and also explain how it ended up in the final list of 7 by using the passive voice too. Finally, remember that if you have any question and you are not here in this conference, you can write me to my direct internet messaging at the platform or to my email. But first, remember to participate in the forum of questions in the case that your partners have the same question too. For the conclusion of this first conference, we have that first, the path to introduction was done. Second, the previous activities were reviewed. And finally, the activity 1 topics and evidences that you have to send to me were explained. So thank you so much for your attention. I hope you can hear me in another occasion.